Hey, Stoic warriors! Yesterday you lost, not to another person, not to circumstances. You lost to the voices in your own head, those whispers that told you weren't enough, that convinced you to stay in bed just 5 more minutes. That turned a simple morning into a battlefield where you surrendered before the war even began. Right now, someone reading this just felt their soul crack a little. Because I'm describing your morning, aren't I? That moment when consciousness returns, and instead of gratitude for another day, you feel the weight of existence pressing down like 1,000 invisible hands. Your mind becomes a courtroom where you're both the accused and the prosecutor, replaying every failure, every regret, every what if that haunts your waking hours. Marcus Aurelius understood this torture. While leading Rome through plague and war, he discovered something that modern psychology is only now catching up to. He wrote these words by candlelight, probably with trembling hands. Confine yourself to the present. 7 syllables that contain the entire secret to mental liberation. Because every morning, you're not actually fighting today's battles. You're fighting ghosts from yesterday and phantoms from tomorrow. I discovered these 5 Stoic rules after my brother's funeral. Grief had colonized my mornings. Each dawn felt like drowning in reverse, consciousness pulling me up into pain instead of peace. Sleep became my only escape, and waking became my daily death. Until I found these ancient strategies hidden in philosophy books that most people use as decorations. These weren't feel-good platitudes. These were weapons forged in the furnaces of real suffering by people who understood that clarity isn't a luxury. Clarity is survival. Some of you are entrepreneurs whose minds spin with endless possibilities and paralyzing doubts. Others are parents who wake up already exhausted, knowing 20 people need 20 different things from you before noon. Maybe you're the overthinker who constructs entire catastrophes before your coffee gets cold. Or perhaps you're simply human, trying to navigate a world that seems designed to scatter your thoughts like ashes in a hurricane. These 5 rules aren't gentle suggestions. They're cognitive revolution. They're the difference between living as a victim of your thoughts and becoming the architect of your mental empire. Tomorrow morning, when you implement even one of these principles, you'll understand why Seneca said, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and seeks the old." We're seeking the old wisdom that transformed slaves into sages and warriors into philosophers. Wisdom that doesn't care about your Instagram followers or your bank balance. Wisdom that only cares about one thing: liberating your mind from its self-imposed prison. Write these 3 words: clarity brings power. Like this video if you've ever felt mentally hijacked by your own thoughts. Subscribe now, because this channel is where ancient wisdom meets modern struggle. Share this with someone drowning in their own mental chaos. And listen carefully to every word that follows. Missing even one principle could mean missing the key to your mental freedom. Now, let's get into it. Number 1. Claim your mental territory before the world claims you. Empires fall when their borders go undefended. Your mind falls the same way. Every morning, you wake up without boundaries, letting every thought, worry, and random fear march straight into your consciousness like invading armies. No guard at the gate, no declaration of sovereignty, just surrender, disguised as waking up. The Stoics had a practice so powerful that speaking it aloud changed the molecular structure of their day. Marcus Aurelius would stand, feet planted like oak roots, and declare his mental sovereignty to the universe itself, not asking for permission, not hoping for strength, commanding it into existence through words that vibrated with intention. Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, he would say, not from pessimism, but from power. By declaring what he would face, he stripped those challenges of their ability to surprise and destabilize him. He became the narrator of his story before anyone else could write it for him. Your declaration isn't about predicting problems. It's about establishing dominion over your responses. Tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the ground, before reality gets its hooks in you, you will speak your sovereignty into existence, not whispered like a prayer, thundered like a decree. I am the guardian of my thoughts. I am the author of my reactions. I am the sculptor of this day. Feel how different those words land compared to your usual morning surrender. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between real and imagined authority. When you declare yourself sovereign of your mental realm, your brain chemistry literally shifts. Cortisol drops. Dopamine stabilizes. You become biochemically primed for clarity instead of chaos. I learned this after losing everything in a business collapse. Mornings became torture chambers where my mind replayed every wrong decision. Until I started declaring out loud, sometimes through tears, I choose my thoughts. My thoughts don't choose me. The first week felt like lying. The second week felt like hoping. By the third week, it became truth carved into my neural pathways. This isn't positive thinking. This is cognitive warfare. You're establishing a beachhead in your own mind before the day's battles begin. You're drawing a line in the sand of consciousness and daring any thought to cross it without your permission. Epictetus, born a slave, became a philosopher by understanding this. No one can hurt you without your permission. Every morning you've been giving that permission away freely. Tomorrow you revoke it. Tomorrow you declare sovereignty. Number 2, face your mortality to find your focus. Every morning you avoid the mirror, not because you hate your reflection, but because you hate the truth it represents. Another day older, another day closer. The Stoics had a practice so confrontational that modern minds recoil from it. They looked directly into their own eyes each morning and whispered 2 words that most people spend lifetimes avoiding. Memento mori. Remember death, not from morbidity, from urgency, because nothing clears mental fog faster than remembering your expiration date isn't theoretical. It's approaching, right now, with every breath you're reading this with. Seneca wrote, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life." He wasn't being dramatic. He was being mathematical. If you have maybe 30,000 days in your life, and you've already spent 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20,000 of them, then this morning's mental chaos is a luxury you literally cannot afford. Stand before your mirror tomorrow. Look into your own eyes like you're meeting a stranger who holds your secrets. See the small lines forming, the changes happening, the evidence that time isn't waiting for you to figure things out. Then ask yourself the question that strips away all trivial thoughts. If this was my last morning, what thoughts deserve my attention? Suddenly, that petty argument evaporates. That social media comparison becomes laughable. That perfectionist paralysis that keeps you from starting your dreams becomes criminal. Death is the ultimate mental filter, removing everything that doesn't matter and illuminating everything that does. I started this practice after watching my grandmother die. With regrets, she whispered through morphine haze. "I spent so many mornings worried about such small things," she said, gripping my hand with surprising strength. Now, every morning, I meet my mortality in the mirror. Not to become depressed, to become decisive. Your mind clutters itself with immortal thinking, planning as if you have infinite mornings to waste on infinite worries. You don't. That presentation that's keeping you awake, in 5 years, no one will remember it. That person who rejected you, they're temporary. Your dreams that you keep postponing, they have an expiration date that's getting closer every morning you wake up without clarity. The mirror doesn't lie, time doesn't stop, and every morning you spend in mental fog is a morning you'll never get back. Memento mori isn't about death. It's about life. It's about clearing away the mental debris that prevents you from living fully in the few mornings you actually have. Number 3. Lose everything in your mind to gain everything in reality. This morning, while you're safe in your bed, I want you to burn your life down, in your mind, completely. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. But it's not evil, it's liberation disguised as loss. Close your eyes, your job gone, your relationship ended, your health compromised, your reputation destroyed. Feel that free fall in your stomach, that primal terror. Now breathe, because you're still here, still breathing, still capable. Everything you feared losing is already gone in this moment, yet you survive. You more than survive. You discover what Marcus Aurelius knew. Misfortune nobly born is good fortune. Modern positive thinking tells you to visualize success. The Stoics knew better. They visualized loss to achieve invincibility. Because when you've already lost everything in your mind and survived, reality loses its power to terrorize you. Your morning anxiety about that meeting? You've already been fired in your visualization and found your way forward. Your relationship fears? You've already experienced the breakup mentally and discovered you're whole without them. This isn't pessimism. This is psychological immunization. Every morning, you're paralyzed by what might go wrong. But when you deliberately visualize the worst, something miraculous happens. Your mind stops treating potential loss as a terrorist and starts treating it as a teacher. I practiced this after my mother's diagnosis. Every morning I'd visualize the worst, the treatments failing, the goodbye I wasn't ready for, the empty chair at Christmas. It sounds torturous. It was liberating, because when those fears lived in shadows, they controlled me. When I dragged them into daylight through visualization, they became just scenarios. Painful, but survivable scenarios. Tomorrow morning, spend 3 minutes in deliberate destruction. Lose your money and realize you still have your mind. Lose your status and realize you still have your character. Lose everything external and discover what's eternal. Your capacity to think, to choose, to respond with virtue regardless of circumstances. The paradox that breaks most minds but builds stoic clarity. When you've already lost everything mentally, you gain everything emotionally. Fear loses its grip because you've already survived what you're afraid of. Anxiety dissolves because you've already navigated the worst-case scenario. This isn't about becoming negative. It's about becoming unshakable. When you start each morning having already survived your worst fears mentally, you walk through your day like someone who's already died and been resurrected. Untouchable, unstoppable. Unclear thoughts can't survive in a mind that's already faced its demons over morning coffee. Number 4. Divide your thoughts. Like a surgeon divides tissue. Your mind is a war zone because you're fighting battles you've already lost. Not lost yesterday or last year. Lost before they even began, because you're trying to control the uncontrollable. like trying to hold water in your fists while it streams through your fingers, leaving you exhausted and empty. Epictetus, who knew real chains as a slave, discovered freedom through one revolutionary insight. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Simple words that contain the entire blueprint for mental clarity. Yet every morning you wake up violating this principle, spending precious mental energy trying to control traffic, weather, other people's opinions, the past, the future, everything except the only thing you actually can control: your response. Tomorrow morning, create 2 columns on paper. Label one, My Empire. These are things under your complete control. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your effort, your integrity. Label the other, Not My Empire. Everything else, their reactions, the economy, your height, yesterday's mistakes, tomorrow's uncertainties. Watch how 90% of your morning anxiety belongs in the second column. This isn't acceptance. This is strategic brilliance. When a Roman general divided his forces, he wasn't surrendering territory. He was concentrating power where it could actually make a difference. Your mental energy is finite. Every moment you spend trying to control someone else's behavior is a moment stolen from controlling your own excellence. I learned this when my father was dying. I spent months trying to control his illness, researching treatments, arguing with doctors, bargaining with God. All that energy wasted on the uncontrollable while I missed what I could control, being present, saying what needed saying, loving without conditions. The illness was never in my empire. My response always was, feel the liberation in this division. That person who doesn't appreciate you, not your empire. Your decision to continue giving your best, your empire. The market crash that killed your investments. Not your empire. Your choice to learn, adapt, and rebuild, your empire. Every morning thought that tortures you belongs to one column or the other. No exceptions, no overlap, no confusion. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, yet wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He could command legions but couldn't command rain. Could sentence men to death but couldn't make them respect him. Could control Rome but couldn't control Romans. When you divide your thoughts with surgical precision, clarity isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Number 5. Transform every thought from enemy to teacher. This final rule will sound like madness until it becomes your salvation. Every terrible thought that wakes you, every anxiety that grips you, every fear that paralyzes you, love it, not tolerate it, not accept it. Love it with the fierce embrace of someone reuniting with a long-lost friend. Amor Fati, Nietzsche called it, borrowing from the Stoics. Love of fate. But it's deeper than that. It's the recognition that every difficult thought arriving in your morning consciousness isn't an invader. It's a teacher dressed in painful clothing, carrying lessons you need wrapped in packages you don't want. That anxiety about your presentation? It's teaching you what matters to you. That grief over your loss? It's teaching you the depth of your capacity to love. That fear of failure? It's teaching you where your growth edge lives. Every uncomfortable morning thought is a masterclass in becoming who you're meant to be, but you keep skipping class because you don't like the teacher's appearance. Marcus Aurelius didn't just accept difficult circumstances. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your morning mental chaos isn't standing in the way of clarity. It is the way to clarity if you stop treating it as an enemy and start treating it as an instructor. I discovered this after my accident left me unable to walk for months. Every morning brought pain, frustration, and thoughts of everything I'd lost. Fighting those thoughts multiplied their power. Then, one morning, broken and exhausted from resistance, I tried something insane. I welcomed the pain, thanked the limitation, embraced the frustration like a teacher arriving exactly when needed. The pain taught me presence, the limitation taught me creativity, the frustration taught me patience I'd never have learned from comfort. Every negative morning thought became a doorway to qualities I'd been too comfortable to develop. The obstacle literally became the way. Tomorrow morning, when those familiar demons arrive with your consciousness, don't armor yourself against them. Open your arms. Say, "Welcome, teacher. What are you here to show me?" Watch how thoughts that once terrorized you become curious opportunities for growth. Watch how resistance transforms into curiosity. Watch how your worst morning thoughts become your greatest teachers. This isn't toxic positivity. This is warrior philosophy. The Stoics didn't become great by avoiding difficult thoughts. They became great by transforming every thought into fuel for greatness. You started watching this video as someone drowning in morning mental chaos. You're finishing it as someone who possesses 5 ancient keys to cognitive liberation. But keys don't open doors by themselves. Tomorrow morning, when consciousness returns and the familiar battles begin, you have a choice. You can return to your old patterns, letting thoughts scatter like leaves in a storm. Or you can implement even one of these rules and watch your mental landscape transform. The dawn declaration that claims your sovereignty, the mortality mirror that creates urgency, the negative visualization that builds invincibility, the control ritual that brings peace, the Amor Fati embrace that transforms obstacles into opportunities. Marcus Aurelius wrote these words in his tent, surrounded by death and chaos. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, "I have to go to work," as a human being. Your work isn't your job. Your work is mastering your mind. Everything else follows from that mastery. The Stoics didn't promise easy mornings. They promised clear ones. They didn't eliminate difficult thoughts. They transformed them into stepping stones toward wisdom. Tomorrow morning, you join their ranks, not as a perfect practitioner, but as someone brave enough to try. Brave enough to face your thoughts with philosophy instead of fear. Like this video if you're ready for tomorrow's transformation. Subscribe to join a community choosing clarity over chaos. Share this with someone whose mornings need revolution. Comment below which rule you're implementing first. Your clear morning awaits. Your mental empire demands its emperor. Rise and claim your clarity.